I figured that I could show you a couple of different things that I do in order to do my lesson planning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Monday, September 10th. Happy Rosh Hashanah to all my Jewish friends, families, brothers, and sisters. Today is your new year, so happy Rosh Hashanah. And today is a teacher planning day at my school. So I figured that I could show you a couple of different things that I do in order to do my lesson planning. And I will be sure to show you how I do that. I do have to plan for all 5 subjects for me, but I'm also getting ready to meet with my team this week for our collaborative planning meeting that we're gonna have on Wednesday. So I'm creating a resource to kind of help everybody know what each subject is doing as the weeks go by during the first grading period. So I will share that with you as soon as I finish that, and then I'll take you step by step how I plan my week for instruction. All right, so stay tuned, and I can't wait to share with you what I do. See you soon. All right, so I have gathered all the documents that I need in order to do my planning for this week, and I spent most of my morning time putting together one particular document that I am sharing with my grade level because I am the 4th grade level chair, and I think it's a document that will really help us with our collaborative planning meetings. So I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to show you how I came up with that, because I basically took the information that was in our district pacing guides and I kind of condensed it so that they can kind of see at a glance what each subject was doing for those particular weeks. So let me show you that right now. Just to give you an idea of what our district gives us, this is our Reading and Language Arts pacing guide, and right in the cover sheet they tell us how many weeks this is and the duration along with the dates. This one was the one that we should have finished last week. I still have to kind of finish a little bit, not too much, so I'm playing a little bit of catch up because we were working on some other things for the gifted, but that's okay. It's not that bad, especially since this week we're going over similar standards. But here they give us a lot of the different things. So they basically tell us exactly what we need to be working on as far as that subject goes. So this is the reading one, and this is the reading one for this week. It starts tomorrow, 9/11, and these are the stories we'll be reading, and it goes through the pace of how we should be working on it. So that's reading. Here is the math one. It follows similar format where it tells us the pacing and the dates, tells us the chapters and so forth. This one is the one we should have finished last week, which was chapter 1. So here is the one for this week. We need to start with chapter 2. I just have to finish wrapping up chapter 1 and give them the topic assessment, and then we can go on to chapter 2, which is multiplying by 1-digit numbers. Then here is our science pacing guide, and this one has us going up to the 14th where we're talking about topic 1 and lessons 1, 2, and 3. It has all of the standards, all the essential content, the objectives, and instructional tools. And in the back, they also even give us technology. Hold on a second so I can show you. They also give us technology links and so forth to go along with the topic that we're covering. So this one we're still good for until this week. But then next week, we're going to be working on Earth's features, rocks, minerals, and soil. So that will take us all the way to September 28th. So just to give you an idea of what our pacing guides look like. Here is our social studies one, and this one has us going all the way till August 31st, which we should have done already. I really haven't, so I'm playing catch up with social studies because we were doing some other things for social studies. So we need to focus on social scientists and what they do, the 4 different types of social scientists. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on. But this is a topic that started last week, which is working on chapter 2, exploring the regions of the United States. And this is the standard, and they tell us the pacing on how we should do it. So we have until the 25th to go over chapter 2. All right. So I took all of those things and I just created this very easy, at a glance, instructional focus for the entire 4th grade. You can see the weeks here with the dates, and I put ELA, math, science, and social studies. So these are all the things we should have focused on, and I did put the standards that we are focusing on in each subject there. And these are the focus that we need to start as of this week. This is where we should be in ELA. This is what we should have started already since last week in math. And this is what we will start working with next week because we're still working on this topic for this week. See, it goes into the 14th. So I make sure I put the dates in there as well because even though they're in these weeks, I want to make sure they know what dates are correlated to that subject. And this is where we should be in social studies. So I did that for the entire grading period. As you can see, weeks 6 and 7, and the instructional focus across the subjects, weeks 8 and 9, and week 10 through 11. 11 goes into the second grading period, but week 10 is part of the first grading period. So they can kind of see where they should be as far as the subject goes so that it helps us with instructional planning. Now, along with this, so this is what I'm going to use to plan for this week. I have my gifted program goals and objectives. And these are the program goals that we need to kind of focus on here and there. And I kind of sprinkle them among the different activities that I plan for my week. So they're all in here. This is a document that our district provides. So here are our gifted goals and objectives. The students have their individual ones, but I also go ahead and insert them into my lesson plans. So without further ado, I'm now going to sit at my desk and I'm going to start plugging in my lesson plans. Also, tomorrow is Patriot Day, so I do have a story that I'm going to read with my students. I am going to deviate from the pacing guide in order to do that, but I think it's very important, and I do have a resource that goes along with it. I mentioned it last week in my vlog. It's 14 Cows for America. So I'm going to show you that resource. I'm going to show you the book, and I'm going to insert it into my lesson plans. I'm also going to plan for the wrap-up for Chapter 1 for math. I'm going to continue to put in my science lesson plans for the students to go over those lessons that you saw. And I'm going to start working on my 4 hats for the different 4 social sciences that we need to have gone over in social studies. So those are the different things that I'm going to focus on for this week. So I'll get to show you what I end up doing in my lesson plans. So let's go ahead and get that done now. Another thing that is important for me to use when I'm planning my reading and language arts is to use the LAF planning cards that my district provides. So this is informational standards, and these are the literature standards. And I actually have to look at the literature standards because those are the ones that we're focusing on. And I do have to print new ones because my district just updated them. But they pretty much lay out everything that you need to know about the standard. What should have 3rd grade been doing? What does 4th grade do? And what does 5th grade do? They go over the focus skills, the academic vocabulary that the students need to understand in order to understand the questions, the assessment limits, which is very important. And they give you examples for the task demands, as well as what kind of questions they'll be asked on the test. Now, these, again, I have to reprint because our test will no longer be computer-based. It's going to be paper-based, so I do have to update these. And as you can see, I had already color-coded them by the cluster. So the pink ones were my cluster 1, which is key ID and details. And then the green ones were cluster 2, which is craft and structure. And this is all coming apart. And the blue ones, and it came apart, were cluster 3 for integration of knowledge and ideas. So these are very essential when I'm planning because it kind of gives me an idea what I need to make sure I focus on and to go a little bit deeper than what the textbook may go into. These also come from the item specs that are provided on our FSA assessment website. So my district put these together using the item specs. So these are the LAF planning cards that I use. And I also use for math the item specs for mathematics. And what I do is I go into the item specs and I look at the standard that I am teaching and I'm focusing on that week, so I know what are the assessment limits, what do I need to make sure I go over that maybe the textbook doesn't go over, maybe I need to go a little bit deeper and things like that. So that's very essential when it comes to planning as well. Now, here's what I mean by the standards-based planning cards being updated. Now they also include what a level 3 student should have understood with the standard, what a level 4 student understands, and what a level 5 student understands. They still include what 3rd grade was working on with the standard and what 5th grade will be working on, as well as the focus skills and academic vocabulary and assessment limits and the example type questions for that standard. So I am going ahead and looking at 1.1, which is evidence. So I also need to focus on 1.3, so let me go ahead and get that one now. All right, 1.3 is the main one that we're working on since the first week of school. The kids will be tested on this one. So on the first Wonders assessment that they'll take this week, they will be tested with character setting and events in a story, but through sequence of events. And in this one that we're starting this week, it's the same standard, character setting and events in a story, but they are also adding problem and solution. So the focus is problem and solution. So I'm really going to read the standard and make sure that I touch upon these things as I plan for instruction this week. So that is another standard. And then the other standard that I need to get is a vocabulary standard, which is 2.4. So let me get that one now. And here is the 2.4 standard. So it's a vocabulary standard. So we're going over all of this. So this is again what a level 3 gets, what a level 4, 5 understands, etc. And it goes over the focus skills, academic vocabulary, assessment limits, etc. Again, this is a resource that our district provides, so I can't really share it. But if I do create something similar that I use on my own, I will see if I could share it. But for now, I really can't share this because this is something that my district creates for us. So this is what I use for planning, and I'm gonna go ahead and get these and start doing my ELA planning right now. Okay, so I have to hurry because I have been diligently working, and I know we could have left early today, but I didn't. So I stayed, and it's actually now 3:20 and the custodians are closing in 5 minutes. So I'm gonna go over quickly what I put together. So let me show you. First and foremost, these are my lesson plans. These are the reading lesson plans. So as you can see, I have reading and language arts writing in here along with the homework. Similar template, but a little bit different because over here, this is a little bit different. This is math, science, and social studies. So I have all my lesson plans for the week here, along with the vocabulary and the homework. This is the daily language arts warm-up that we're gonna be using the entire week. This is from One Stop Teacher Shop. This is the trifold that I talked about for 14 Cows for America, which this is the book right here, and I highly recommend it. So that's what we're gonna be doing tomorrow for reading. I have their vocabulary workshop booklet that I will make copies of and fold. That will be their homework. They will study their words. We'll go over them tomorrow as well. This is the gathering evidence that we're going to use in order to gather evidence from all 3 sources for writing. And that is our writing prompt, which is an opinion prompt. This is our weekly assessment for Wonders Unit 1, Week 1 for 4th grade. And I did copy it as a booklet in order to save paper. So the students will take it on here. See, the booklet is right there. There's 2 passages with 11 questions. This is the grammar minutes. This is an ebook that I have, and I made a copy as in a booklet. So they will complete all of these 4 minutes on Friday before ketchup and pickles. This is their vocabulary workshop test. This is an extra lesson that we're doing this week in math. So this is my teacher edition, and this is the activity page that they will have, which is on comparative relational thinking. This is our math log for this week. This is homework, again, One Stop Teacher Shop. This is my math log that I haven't put on my TPT store, but it helps with fluency for computation. This is our math assessment for Chapter 1, which our district provides for us in our SharePoint file. This is a star finder that the students will create this week as we learn about patterns in the night sky. So that's the second part for that. And I found this, which I'll talk about more tomorrow in class, but it's a star finder map that I got from a website that I'll link down below. And this is the what patterns you see that they'll use with their star finder. This is a Faces of the Moon that I got from the mailbox.com, and you can register for free and they'll let you download 3 files a month without paying anything. So we're gonna put this in our notebooks, and that goes with that. I found this for free. I know it's an assessment. I'll link it down below, but it's also another option to put in the notebook. This is the Eclipse passage set that I wrote myself and I created in my TPT store, which I thought it would be a good idea to review with the students since we're going over eclipses and the moon phases. And these are the hats that the students will glue to their social studies notebooks and take notes on the 4 different types of social scientists. This will go with their social studies homework for this week, that they will actually use this brown paper bag in order to put 1 artifact that represents each of the 4 social sciences, and they'll present this on Friday. This is their homework that they're getting for tomorrow. And this is the page that will go over an activity. They will choose one of these activities to do on Thursday for social studies as part of our lesson for that day. And this is their chapter test for Chapter 1 that they will take on Friday. So that's basically the gist of my plans for this week. I hope you enjoy coming along with me on my planning process. I know this was a quick video, but I wanted to quickly show you there's one more thing that I haven't finished, which is my detailed lesson plans, which are like my to-do for each day. And I will go over that more with you tomorrow when I get to school for the regular day. All right, so let me gather my things and get going because they're gonna close the building. I hope you enjoyed coming along on this plan with me video and that you got to see a little glimpse on how I plan for my week. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought or any questions you may have. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day and don't forget to smile. See you next time.